Hello, I'm SquidofLove, welcome back. In this video we are going to compare the three biggest vessels of Elite Dangerous, the Anaconda, the Imperial Cutter and the Federal Corvette, in order to find out which one of these three is the best for every activity in Elite Dangerous, but also if it will be wise to upgrade from an Anaconda to a Federal Corvette or an Imperial Cutter. Before we go ahead and start giving them loadouts for the different activities of Elite Dangerous, let's take a look at the basic modules that they can be equipped with, and of course at their entire compartments and the hard points they have. We're gonna start with the Anaconda that can be equipped with a Class 8 power plant, Class 7 thrusters, Class 6 frame seat drive, Class 5 light support, and Class 8 power distributor and sensors. With these modules equipped, the Anaconda has an available power of 36, which is absolutely amazing, and it means that we can equip it with whatever we want, and a jump range, a quite decent jump range of 25.40 light years. Its mast is quite low at 864, well, it is big, but it is the lowest of the three biggest vessels in Elite Dangerous, at 864 tons with this current loadout. Its fuel tank has a capacity of 32, which will be more than enough for traveling around and going out for exploration with the Anaconda, and it also has 11 internal compartments, of which 1 Class 7, 3 Class 6, 3 Class 5, 3 Class 4 and 1 Class 2. The Anaconda has 8 hardpoints, of which 1 huge, 3 large, 2 medium and 2 small, and of course 8 utility mounts like the other two have. The Imperial Cutter on the other hand can be equipped with a power plant of Class 8 and thrusters also of Class 8, and frame seat drive, life support, power distributor and sensors of Class 7. With these modules equipped, the Imperial Cutter has an available power of 36, amazing, like the Anaconda, and a jump range of 20.93 light years. It's not as good as the Anacondas, but it's decent enough and it will allow us to travel around if we want, even use this for exploration. The problem with the Cutter is its huge mass. It has almost double mass than the Anaconda, and this is also why its jump range is lower. Its mass is at around 1.6 ktons. It has 9 internal compartments, of which 2 Class 8, 3 Class 6, 2 Class 5, 1 Class 4 and 1 Class 3, and that means that it can be equipped with a Class 8 generator, seal generator, while the Anaconda can only be equipped with a Class 7 seal generator. Its fuel tank has a capacity of 64, which is the biggest of these three vessels, and it means that it can travel for longer without the need to replenish its fuel. The Cutter has 7 hardpoints, of which 1 huge, 2 large and 4 medium, and of course 8 utility mounts. And last but not least, the Federal Corvette. It can be equipped with a Class 8 power plant, Class 7 thrusters, a Class 6 frame seat drive, Class 5 light support, and Class 8 power distributor and sensors. With these modules, it has 36 available power and a quite poor jump range at 16.09 light years. Its mast is not that high as that of the Cutter, but is higher than the Anaconda. It's almost at 1.3 ktons, but the real problem is the frame seat drive, that is only an A6, while it should have been an A7 to give the Federal Corvette a much better jump range than these 16.09 light years it has. The fuel tank is not that much of a problem. 32 capacity is more than enough to travel around. It has 10 internal compartments, of which 3 Class 7, 2 Class 6, 2 Class 5, 2 Class 4 and 1 Class 3, and like the Anaconda can only take a Class 7 seal generator. Same number of hardpoints with the Imperial Cutter, but their main difference is that the Corvette has 2 huge instead of the 1 huge hardpoint the Cutter has, 1 large, 2 medium, 2 small, and of course 8 utility mounts. After comparing their main modules, the basic modules they can be equipped with, it is quite obvious that the Imperial Cutter is the most balanced one. Sure, they have similar modules that they can be equipped with, similar classes of these modules, but the Imperial Cutter has the best thrusters and frame seat drive, and these two modules help this vessel to negate the problems that its very big mass creates. This is exactly why we can use the Imperial Cutter for traveling far away. We can even use it in exploration. Another thing that helps the Imperial Cutter with this activity is the fuel tank and its capacity of 64. That means that if we use it like it is, we can travel very far away without any real problem of running out of fuel. But we can also downgrade this to 32, capacity of 32, the similar with the other two vessels, and gain a better jump range. The same goes with the internal compartments. The Imperial Cutter has much better internal compartments with these two class 8 internal compartments that will allow us to carry more cargo if we are focused on trading. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at its capabilities at the different activities of Elite Dangerous, and of course, like always, we are going to start with trading. The Anaconda with only cargo racks equipped has a very good cargo capacity at 468 tons, and its later jump rate is at 16.48 light years. If we equip the lowest class of seal generator that it can be equipped with, then our cargo capacity will be at 452 tons with a class A4 seal generator, and our jump rates will be at 16.55 light years later. Of course, we can get a better jump rates if we downgrade most of the modules, but we are not gonna do this right now. We will just see what is the cargo capacity and our jump rates with these modules. The cutter now with only cargo racks equipped, but also the fuel tank downgraded to capacity 32 has the amazing cargo capacity of 792 tons, which is the best in the game, and a jump range, laden jump range at 14.27 light years. So we are gaining almost 300 tons on cargo capacity, but we are only losing around 2 light years. It seems that it is a very nice trading vessel. Let's go and add the seal generator. With an A6 seal generator, our cutter has a maximum cargo capacity of 728 tons and a later jump range at 14.42 light years, which is quite good if you ask me, and we still have some nice protection with the seal generator of A6. The Corvette now, although it has a very nice cargo capacity at 616 tons, which is the second best in the game after the cutter, its jump range, its laden jump range is simply very bad at 11.08 light years. With an A5 seal generator, our cargo capacity is at 584 tons and our jump range is still very bad at 11.15 light years. So it is quite obvious that if you are a dedicated trader and you are looking to maximize your profits, the Imperial Cutter is the best ship for you. It has the best cargo capacity in the game, and its jump range, its laden jump range is quite decent and will allow you to make a lot of profit quite fast. For mining, all these three vessels have similar capabilities. They can be equipped with prospector and collector limber controllers, a refinery with up to 10 bins, a seal generator, and of course 2 class 2 mining lasers, and their cargo capacity will be for the Anaconda 416 tons and 16.84 light years laden jump range, 672 tons for the Imperial Cutter and 14.51 light years laden jump range, and 544 tons for the Federal Corvette with a laden jump range at 11.28 light years. Because we are talking about mining and because you will be stationary at an asteroid belt, mining, hitting asteroids, it doesn't really matter to have the best jump range. If you have found a nice mining spot close to a station that you can sell your metals and minerals for a good price, then you can go with each one of these three vessels. That makes you feel comfortable, and of course you can equip them with more defensive equipment and more weapons to protect yourself and keep pirates away. Have in mind that the more modules you equip on these vessels, the lower the jump rates, the unladen and of course the laden jump rates will be. Let's go ahead now and talk about their long traveling capabilities. We're going to start with the Anaconda, and we are going to downgrade every basic module to its D version of the highest class. You can go and downgrade it even further if you want. You can go down to class 1 power distributor. You can downgrade the power plant to the class that will allow you to operate your vessel with just enough power. But for the sake of comparison and comparing these three vessels, I'm only going to downgrade them to their D version of the highest class. And the same goes for the seal generator. With one only cargo rack equipped at the highest internal compartment, the Anaconda has a cargo capacity of 128 tons, which is more than enough for rare goods trading and any other activity in Elite Dangerous. You can do smuggling, you can accept missions and try to complete them with this cargo rack. You don't have to have any other cargo racks equipped. Our jump range is 31 unladen and 26.25 light years laden, which is absolutely amazing. It seems to be the best ship for the job. We can of course equip more modules, and you should of course equip more modules depending the activity you want to perform. More cargo racks, frenzy drive interdictor if you are going for combat missions, or if you want to mix things up, have some combat missions and some hauling, smuggling missions, and of course weapons and defense modules. Have in mind that with every module you add, this will have an impact on your jump range, but this is a nice starting point. The Imperial Cutter with a similar loadout has a cargo capacity of 256 tons, which is more than enough. It will allow you to do pretty much everything, and a jump range 23.47 unladen and 19.95 light years laden. And the laden jump range is quite good for that kind of cargo capacity. But we can downgrade the cargo rack, and with an 128 tons of cargo capacity now with this new class 7 cargo rack, our jump range will go up to 21.57 light years laden. Still very good, and you can equip more modules depending the activity you want to perform. Still a very good option. Not the best, like the Anaconda, but it is still a very good option if you want to have the Imperial Cutter for that job. As for the Corvette with the same cargo capacity, 128 tons, the jump range is at 18.11 light years and 16.38 light years laden, and although it looks decent, with every new module that we will be equipping it with, it will only go down. So I don't really think this is a good ship, this is a decent ship for that kind of activity, for traveling around, accepting missions, rare goods trading, or any other kind of commodities. So, for this activity, the best ship is the Anaconda. The Cutter is also good, you can use it if you want, if you like the vessel, and if you want to have only the Cutter, then you can go ahead and use it. The Corvette should be avoided. Let's go now and take a look at their exploration capabilities. And of course we are going to start with the worst ship this time, which will be obviously the Corvette. To compare their exploration capabilities, we are going to downgrade their main modules even further. We are going to downgrade the power distributor to the lowest div version, to the lowest class that will allow us to boost, and of course the power plant to the lowest div version of the class that will allow us to operate our vessel without any problem. We will have the same loadout, the same modules equipped, advanced discovery scanner, detailed surface scanner, and a planetary vehicle hangar, the lowest shield generator they can be equipped in D version, the highest fuel scoop, an autofill maintenance unit, and the highest cargo rack that they can carry. Of course the planetary approach suit is already equipped, and as for the hard points, 3 class 1 gimbal, pulse lasers, and 4 hitch launchers. With this loadout, the Corvette has a jump range at 19.24 light years and 17.30 light years laden. The Cutter now has a jump range of 24.68 light years and 23.51 light years laden, with a cargo rack with capacity 64, and it is obviously a much better option than the Corvette for exploration, for traveling around and perform this activity. Like we were expecting it, the Anaconda is the best out of these 3 vessels for exploration. With this loadout, it has a jump range at 34.92 light years, almost 35 light years, and of course we can downgrade most of the modules in order to gain a much better jump range, and later jump range at 31.69 light years if you fill that cargo rack with capacity of 64. Same loadout for all of these 3 vessels. It is obvious that the Anaconda is your number 1 option if you want to go exploration, if you want to go exploring out there in the unknown. So we have seen the capabilities of these 3 vessels at pretty much every activity in Elite Dangerous except combat. We are going to give them a nice combat loadout, and we are going to give them a similar combat loadout. We will try to utilize their huge hardpoint. We will see what kind of firepower they can carry with a class 4 weapon. I will try to have a mix of turrets, lasers, and a class 4 weapon, and see how much better is the Corvette than these 2 other vessels, the Anaconda and the Cutter in combat, or if it is not as good as it was advertised. This is the combat loadout we are going to use for the Anaconda, and we will equip the other two vessels in a similar way. A class 4 plasma accelerator, 3 gimbal class 3 beam lasers, and turrets on the medium and small hardpoints. Pulse laser turrets. 2 heat-sink launchers to help us deal with the heat generated by the beam lasers and the plasma accelerator. 5 shield booster of A0 and 1 of D0 to help us with the power management of the modules. And as for the defensive modules, the best generator A7, a fuel scoop of A6, a shields and bank of A5, again to help us with power management, and everything else, all the other internal compartments, equipped with hull reinforcement packages. Our jump range with this loadout for the Anaconda is 18.03 light years. For the Imperial Cutter, a class 4 plasma accelerator, 2 gimbal class 3 beam lasers, and 4 class 2 pulse laser turrets, 2 heat-sink launchers, 3 A0 shield boosters and 3 D0 shield boosters for power management, and of course an A8 shield generator, an A8 fuel scoop, an A5 shield cell bank, and everything else hull reinforcement packages. With this loadout, the Imperial Cutter can achieve a maximum jump range of 17.11 light years. And the Corvette with 2 plasma accelerators, class 4 plasma accelerators, 1 only gimbal, class 3 beam laser, 2 turrets, class 2 turrets pulse lasers, and 2 class 1 turrets of pulse lasers as well. We could replace the medium turrets with beam lasers if you want, but I want to have a similar loadout with 4 turrets on each one of these vessels. 2 heat-sink launchers, 5 A0 shield booster, 1 D0 shield booster, best generator A7, a fuel scoop of A7, a sensor bank of A5, and everything else hull reinforcement packages. Unfortunately, with this loadout, the Corvette has a quite bad jump range at 12.87 light years. It is also very important to know how fast these vessels can go with this combat loadout, how fast or slow they are with quite a heavy combat loadout. But before we do this, before we check the speed of the Anaconda, let's take a quick look at the interior. A nice, beautiful, clean interior, nice cockpit, nice bridge, nothing spectacular. The visibility, as you're going to see, is quite the same for all of these 3 vessels. It's not the best for sightseeing. So let's get out of here and test our speed.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
Of course, 4 pips on the engine. Let's get out of the station and see how fast this Anaconda can go. So, our normal speed is at around 204, and if we boost, 270, not the best. 271, it is quite slow actually. The Imperial Cutter on the other hand has a quite impressive interior, a luxurious interior like any other Gutayama ship. Let's not waste any more time, let's see how fast is the Imperial Cutter with this loadout. And it should be the faster of these 3 vessels. 4 pips on the engine, let's get out of the station and do our test. Now we have to be careful, it's a big vessel. So our normal speed is at 223, 24, much better than the Anaconda. And when we boost, 356, I think it can go a bit higher. 358. And finally the Federal Corvette, nothing impressive on the cockpit, on the interior. It is less impressive than the Anaconda actually, it is quite focused on combat. Again, the view is not the best for sightseeing. So let's get out of here and see what is the speed of the Corvette.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
4 pips on the engine. The question is, will the Corvette be slower than the Anaconda? To be honest, because I think the Cutter is the fastest of these 3 vessels. Our normal speed is at 210 actually, which is slightly faster than the Anaconda. And when we boost, 272, 273, almost the same with the Anacondas. So it is quite obvious that the Cutter is a much faster vessel when we boost than the other two. So let's go ahead and try our Anaconda against this gunship and his body. Let's see what we can do against it. Our power is going down quite fast. Let's use our plasma accelerator when we get an opportunity. Of course, our turrets are doing a nice job keeping this gunship under constant fire. Yeah, the problem with the plasma accelerators, you have to be close in order to not miss. And because the plasma accelerator on the Anaconda is below the hull, you have to be very careful and you have to line up properly in order to not miss also. Our turrets are doing a nice job. Let's put more power on weapons and get back. I'm gonna ignore his body for now. There you go. A nice hit with the plasma accelerator and a nice kill. So let's use some flight assist off and maybe reversing and return to fight this poor Cobra that's going to die very fast. Not really a problem. We can turn around very easily with flight assist off, even reversing, and deal with our targets, even if they are much more agile than our Anaconda. It really doesn't matter. And of course, we can go with a different loadout if we want to have more power. But as you can see, it's quite easy to take on multiple enemies and destroy them. Let's use our cutter against this Anaconda. Let's go and start attacking before the NPC kill it. Let's see what kind of damage we can achieve. Not bad, and because we are only using two large gimbal beam lasers, our power management is slightly better than that of the Anaconda before. Our turrets are doing a nice job, of course. Let's see if we can hit with our plasma accelerator. We need a bit more power. Nice. The placement of the huge hardpoint on the cutter is the same as with the placement on the Anaconda. It is below the hull, so we again have to be careful when we are trying to hit our targets with the plasma accelerator. As you have seen, it's very easy to miss. Let's see. Can we kill it? Well, we can, but can we kill it fast? Let's put more power on shields. It is a heavier vessel than the Anaconda, and that means that it is easier to drift around, but with some flight assist off and some reversing, you will have absolutely no problem to face your targets and kill them. Let's try to hit with the plasma accelerator one more time. It's amazing how easy the NPC can avoid our shots if we are far away. This is why we need to be very close when we want to use our plasma accelerators. Let's use some flight assist off, more power on engines, and return to kill it. Down to 24%. It's almost dead. Should be dead very soon. It feels quite the same with the Anaconda, to be honest. Yeah. Especially when you miss with your plasma accelerator. Let's fix it.
Target shields online.
Our shields are simply awesome. We have absolutely no problem with an 8 shield generator. There is no threat unless you're facing multiple enemies, but even then you have quite good chances to get out of there alive and even kill them. It just don't want to die. And it's time to test our Corvette. Let's go after this Python. Let's attack. There you go. Obviously, because we are only using one large beam laser, our power management is much better than with the other two vessels. I will try to get closer and use the plasma accelerators, which are located above the hull, above the cockpit, and this is making it a lot easier for us to hit our targets. Let's see if we can go any closer. Even a Python can outrun us. That's a serious problem for the Corvette. Let's put more power on weapons and try to hit that Python. Can you stay still for a second? Not bad damage. Down to 35%. Let's try to hit one more time. Of course, if we are far away, it will be easy to miss, like always. Well, let's try to kill it with plasma accelerators and the turrets. Yeah, let's do some damage with the beam laser. The maneuverability is simply amazing with the Corvette. It's quite good. You can feel that you have the absolute control of your vessel, and it is easier to hit with the plasma accelerators, easier than with the Anaconda or the Cutter. But because of the limited options that the Class 4 weapons have, I don't think this is the best combat vessel out of the three. I think if we ignore the Class 4 hardpoints on the Anaconda and the Imperial Cutter, we can achieve much better firepower. That's my opinion. And of course, if you want to use these vessels as a pirating vessel, you can equip them with all the necessary modules for piracy: a cargo scanner, framesheet drive interdictor, hatch breaker limit, collector limit controller, one cargo rack or more if you want, but it is strongly recommended not to use them as solo pirating vessels because they are heavy and slow. Instead, use them in a wing. Just for the record, with this combat loadout and piracy loadout, the jump range of the Anaconda is at 18.84 light years and 17.86 light years later. The Imperial Cutter with a similar loadout has a jump range at 17.75 light years and 17.18 light years later, and is slightly better to be used as a solo pirating vessel because of the much better speed it has. And the Corvette has a jump range at 13.31 light years and 12.81 light years later, and it is obviously the worst option for solo piracy. As we have seen, the Anaconda can do pretty much everything the Cutter and the Corvette can do, so if you are not looking to maximize your profit from trading, then you should stick with the Anaconda and ignore the other two vessels. Especially if you are an explorer and looking for a ship to do some proper exploration, then the Anaconda is the best option. Out of the Cutter and the Corvette, only the Cutter could be considered as an upgrade from an Anaconda, and this is not only because it has the best cargo capacity in the game, but it can also perform quite well in every activity. Sadly, the Corvette, although it is a very nice ship to fight and fly with and has an awesome maneuverability, it cannot be considered an upgrade from an Anaconda, and this is because of the poor choice we have on weapons on the Class 4 hardpoints, and of course the very bad jump rates. Thank you very much for joining me watching this video. I'm SquidofLove, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.